Next is the BenRiach. You probably don't know it. There are a number of Speyside distilleries which you absolutely know. Macallan is very known. Glenfiddich, Glenlivet.
You ever heard of Glenfiddich? You're being sarcastic.
Aberlour.
I've tried that one.
Okay, let's see. This is probably less known. So a lot of these are generally only available either as single cask or single malts.
Being the opposite of blended.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, we didn't get that far, right?
We interrupted you.
Single malt. A single malt comes from a single distillery. It can still be multiple casks that are in the single malt. But if it has an age statement, its minimum age is 15 years old. So there might be older casks in here as well, but the minimum age is 15. So this is non-chill filtered, which is nice because it'll have an oily or smoky look if it gets cold. And the oils, I think, are part of what impart the flavor. So if you see something that's chill filtered, it looks better in the bottle. It doesn't ever get smoky or anything like that. But I think you lose some flavor.
You lose
Chill
some flavor.
filter.
I have not heard of that before.
Wait, explain this more.
Yeah, this is new.
So I am not exactly sure how it works, but here's my guess. Internet, prove me wrong. Because when you chill it, the oils will actually be more sluggish than the alcohol, and so you can actually filter that stuff out.
Right, because they'll congeal if it's colder. That makes sense.
That's my guess.
I mean, it
We've done science here.
Right?
We now know.
I don't want it to be chill filtered, so I don't want to look it up. How's that?
But you prefer non-chill filtered.
I do. That's some of the things I look for when I'm looking for what's on a whiskey thing. So this is a Pedro Jimenez sherry wood finish. So it may have been in multiple casks. It's because it just says it's finished there. It doesn't say what it was started in. Often it's started in bourbon.
And what is a butts in this context?
This is what you sit on.
Okay.
No, a butt is a very large cask. It's not the largest, but the sherry butts tend to be large, and you can get like 600 bottles out of a single butt.
And if it's not that large, it's really about how you shake it.
That's right.
It's all about the base.
It's all about the base. No trouble.
I feel like we just deluged a ton of information right there, and I'm still unpacking it. Some of it. You said it was a minimum of 15 years, but I've seen scotches that are 10 or 12 years. So what do you mean by that? But those are not single malt, or
they can still be single malt, but the youngest age is on the label. If
the lowest common denominator of all the casks is what they put the label on.
So
if there's a 21 in here, they can't call this a 21. They must call it a 15 because there's at least one cask that's 15 years old in here.
Got it. Interesting. Oh, wow.
You can't list two ages.
Every time I talk to Andrew, I learn something new. Like every single time. I didn't know that.
He should start a podcast.
No.
Okay.
That'll never work.
Let's watch the ball bearings do their thing.
46% here, so this is a little higher bottle strength. And if you are doing a tasting, taste is important in terms of order of tasting, but we have found that alcohol percentage is a really good first ordering, that if you go increasing in alcohol as you go up the bottles, you'll be able to taste each one in turn.
Because if you have a higher alcohol content, it's hard to go back to a lower one because the tastes are more delicate, right?
Yeah. So you might want to do something which we call a reset, which is have just like a cheap bottle of Banknote, which is really good whiskey as well, but much less expensive. It's a blended whiskey, still very good. So you could have something like that that's 40%. You go back to it, it kind of washes your tongue. You don't need a lot of it. You don't need a whole half ounce. But just have a little wash just to rinse it and kind of reset your taste buds a bit, and then some water, and then you can go back to something with lower alcohol.
Start working your way up the ladder again.
Right? All right.
Let's climb.
Take a look at this.
Let's climb. I've got some notes here. Let me just see what I have to say about this whiskey here.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah,
46%, as we said, it's a Speyside as well. BenRiach means brindled mountain. Ben is the mountain word in Gaelic. Glen is valley. So a lot of the scotches are valleys of a particular river. So Glenfiddich.
Valley, the Fiddick Valley.
The Fiddick Valley, the valley of the River Fiddick. And so many of these places are just named after where they are. That's where the Scotch gets its name.
Well, they have such good names for things. Places.
Yeah.
Why not use it again?
And Gaelic sounds awesome no matter what it's saying, really.
But it does feel like it was a trick played on the English, because the letters they use don't match to any kind of proper sound. I looked at a place name, Lagavulin, and then underneath it there's another spelling, and it was like, oh, that's a different place. It doesn't make any sense. And then I realized, oh no, that thing with all those M's and B's and H's, that's Lagavulin. It's like, how?
Gotcha.
You know, one of the things I love about Scotch is like, this nose is so good. Like, I could just sit here and smell this for like an hour.
Yeah.
Like the palette of, I just like want to climb inside of this glass and like, you know, like build a little farmhouse in there and like live there with my wife.
Like this is walking out on that porch and smelling the wind coming across the barley as you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See, this doesn't smell like a carnival to me because this smells so wholesome. It's like I feel like this is more like.
Yeah, I wish I had a flower printed apron to put on.
Yeah, like a berry pie on a windowsill. That's what this, you know. Ooh, it's good.
To me, the nose feels a little tight, so this one might respond to water well. We don't know.
It's also interesting
Wary
that
of the water.
But yeah, we can wait. I try to let it go as low as it can before I get in there. There's little bits in here too, and I think that might be
from the cold filter.
From the